that, the clothes just self-destruct. Okay? It would save us a lot of trouble. So think of something where when you think, I want to do this, and you kind of stop yourself before you even get there. And I want you to turn to the person next to you and just share what that is. So, I want to get my hair dyed, but oh my gosh, I could never do that, whatever. All the other person I want you to do is ask the question, why? And you give the answer. Stop there. I know you're all coaches and you're going to want to fix it. No fixing. We're going to get to fixing in a minute. All I want you to do is ask why and listen to the answer and do it in both directions. What you will find is that what people will give you in response to the question why is they will give you their story and all of their excuses. Buried inside their excuses are their beliefs. So if I say, oh my gosh, I could never get my hair dyed bright red because if I did, I'd never be able to walk into a corporate boardroom. In fact, part of what I'm dealing with right now is if we have time, I'm sure I will unload to you, because being an introvert, this is like my therapy space here, is I'm currently working a lot on my own positioning, right? I'm the one speaker you've had this week. I have neither a target market identified nor a position. I used to be a leadership coach working with executives, blah, 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 helping them align and lead organizations. I don't like that anymore. So I'm searching for my sweet spot. And clap once I find it. I'm not sure that being as confused as everyone else is necessarily something worth clapping about. So maybe it is. Clap. Feel free. Hey, thank you. Okay, back to the exercise. So you're going to ask why, and I might say something like, I have a belief that if I try to approach a business person and I have flaming red hair, that they won't even talk to me. Now actually they might talk to me. They might say, excuse me, why are you here with that haircut? At which point, because this was flaming red when I first got it, by the way, like really bright red, at which point I can look at them and say, I'm an out-of-the-box thinker and you obviously aren't, so thank you very much. If you ever want to talk to me, take off your suit and call this number. But the question is, what are the beliefs driving that? And in my case, if someone were to ask me seriously, why don't you do that? Or why don't you wear jeans on stage? I might say, well, I'm afraid that if I do, people aren't going to take me seriously. There's a belief there. And that belief is that people are going to judge me and pre-screen me based on the way I look. Now, by the way, that belief happens to correspond to experimental reality. If you've read the book Blink, or, think about it for a minute. Who is a Fortune 500 CEO going to hire as a leadership expert? Me or Lance, right? Lance has the whole Jean-Luc Picard thing going. It's like, hello, I am Lance. I am powerful. I am grounded. I couldn't be grounded to save my life. I'm walking around on my tiptoes. Literally, it took me until I was 36 to learn how to put my heels on the ground. I'm not joking. I used to walk like this, and people would say, you bounce, and I'd be like, I prefer to think of it as enjoying life. And they would go, no, you really bounce. You've got to see a physical therapist about this. Okay? So uncover the belief for each other, and I want you to just get that far. I'm only going to give you about a minute to do this, because we're short on time. So take 1 minute, tell someone why you don't do the thing, ask the person why, listen for the belief, write it down so that we have it for the next part of the exercise, and then we'll keep going. By the way, I don't know why this works. Someone taught it to me. It works with an audience of any size. If you want to get the audience to quiet down, start your finger across your body, go shh, and move your finger in an arc. And for a completely unknown reason, it brings everyone back. Now that you're back, you all have a belief, except for the 4 of you who didn't. And there, your belief might want to be something about how quickly you can come up with beliefs. The next thing I'd like you to do is state the belief. And I want you to notice that voice, tone, and stress makes a huge difference. Now, let's connect this directly to what you're about to do as coaches. As coaches, you are in the business of challenging people. You're in the business of helping to push them to the edge of their comfort zone and move successfully beyond it. One of the things that's just so key is the way you put the emphasis in a sentence is going to determine what the person pays attention to. I was with my mentor, my business mentor about, oh my gosh, 20 years ago now. 20 years ago, we were at a hotel and his air conditioner wasn't working. We walked down to the lobby, and he walks over to the concierge and says, you know, I would really appreciate it if you could get my goddamn air conditioner working. And she's like, right away, sir. And I was like, he just swore at her. And I don't think she even noticed. Because listen to the difference. If I say to you, I want you to get my goddamn air conditioner working, where's the emphasis? The emphasis is on somebody's cell phone. Please turn it off. Now. I am the presenter. Thank you. Remember what I said about technology disrupting connection? It makes different connections. So if I said, you know, could you fix my gosh darn air conditioner, the emphasis is on the swear. If I say, could you fix my gosh darn air conditioner, all of the attention is on the air conditioner. Let's say you're in a classroom and the professor looks at you and says, Donna, what do you think of that? She goes, ah, because what I'm asking is, what do you, as opposed to everyone else, what do you think of that? Donna's on the spot. But if I say, Donna, what do you think of that? Donna goes, oh, time to think. Why? Because I emphasize the word think instead of the word you. So the actual word that you stress in a sentence will dramatically affect the interpretation. What I would like you to do now is you now have the other person's limiting belief. All I want you to do is read their belief back to them. If it has 10 words, you'll read it back 10 times, and just take turns stressing every single word. And find out how that changes, find out as the listener how that changes the experience of listening to it. Now, actually, you know what? Let's not do your limiting belief. That's done, because you've already got your limiting belief down. What I would like you to do is, if let's say someone's limiting belief is the national media would never be interested in me. What I want you to do is tell them the opposite. The national media would be interested in you. But rather than using whatever the normal conversational stress would be, try it several times with the stress in different places. The national media would be interested in you. And maybe so with the local media. The national media would be interested in you. And maybe other national organizations would be as well. The national media would be interested in you. The national media would be interested in you. Really, I'd rather have them be fascinated with me. Thank you very much. Except for the gosh darn fluorescent lighting. That's the part. I don't want the national media photographing me under bad lighting. Okay. The national media would be interested in you. Oh, really? In me? Say the opposite of the limiting belief back to the person, just stressing every sentence, every different word. When you're on the receiving end, pay attention to which ones go in easily, which ones you can hear, and which ones stimulate your thinking in different directions. For this one, I'll give you a couple minutes, but we are short on time, so go and be thorough. Okay, can we come back? Come back, come back, come back. Shh. Shh. Gosh, I love that. Did you find that it made a difference? Some worked better than others? Now, I don't necessarily suggest that you sit down with your clients and you try, you say, I'm going to read you 10 sentences, let's try them. But stop and think, can you introduce challenges in a way that's different from how they're expecting? If the normal conversational thing would be, do you really think that's going to happen? You might want to try, do you really think that's going to happen? Or do you really think that's going to happen? Or do you really think that's going to happen? Or sometimes if there's a preposition in the phrase, you can do something really strange. Like, is that really what you think about it? Is that really what you think about it? And they're like, that's kind of a weird sentence. But what they're not doing in that moment is they're not challenging it. And they'll go think, is that what I think about it? They'll get very confused, but that's good. Far better to be confused than to be certain about your limitation, right? As coaches, our job is to drive people into confusion. Preferably using a really fancy Maserati. All right.